Sorare Sunday, and this week we're looking at the week starting the 1st of September to the 7th of September. So let's kick off looking at how we did this week. Okay, so going back to last weekend, it was the weekend just before the international break, and we had a fairly good one, to be fair. We got 1,384 plus 24 limited essence and 250 rare essence. So we actually got some rare essence finally in the bank. As you can see, we now have 670. We're approaching our first rare craft, which will be awesome. Got a bunch of XP as well. Where we did really well is our Premier League Everton stack, which I managed to put together just before last weekend for 510 essence. We were close to getting a little bit more. To be fair, actually, we were closer to getting less. So Jack Grealish really pulling through with 100, getting a massive score, and Dye getting a goal. I think this Everton stack might be pretty good for the season go ahead. I do have a Fulham stack, but it's not doing as well at the moment, and they have brought in new players and stuff, so we'll just have to see how that one goes. We got 300 common essence with this one. There's now hot streaks with the common stuff, so I thought I'd just start using the common Premier League. I don't really want to get involved in the other leagues, just the Premier League commons. And we'll just slowly work our way through the season with that. I probably won't be doing too much with the commons though. League 1, we did pretty well, to be honest. The Havre did okay. I think they won 3-1, didn't they? Yeah. So Issa Samure getting a goal and assist, and Day getting a goal. Our defender and midfielder did let us down a little bit, but we managed to pick up with a trade a better defender, one who's getting a more consistent scoring. So hopefully that League and side will start getting a bit higher scoring. Hopefully you get us some of the hot streaks for League 1, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's quite high, the hot streaks for League 1. Then Jupiler Pro League, we didn't get anything. Oh no, we got 100 here with this team here. Issa Sakamoto finally getting another goal. Brian Reynolds and Langolia doing pretty well, but then Vanden Kibus and Kuzman's not doing as great, so kind of leveled out into 102 essence. We were very close to not getting any essence. As you can see, we were 0.1 points ahead to get essence, so happy we got something from that. Our rare team, we got a DMP, so I had a little look around, did some trades, and managed to get a full, how do you say this team again? Zult Wargem? I managed to get a full Zult Wargem stack, apart from the goalkeeper, who I'm still using, Theolin, because I just can't afford the keeper for Zoltwagen. He's like 25 quid, and I don't want to baff 25 quid into it. So eventually I'm going to try and get a trade to get the rare Zoltwagen keeper, but he'll do for now as long as he keeps playing. Then in Eredivisie, we got okay with our her Heracles stack, although I've now again managed to trade to get Hornkamp, so he should be back from his suspension for the red card after this international break. So we'll have a full Heracles. Even I keep calling him Hercules. It's so annoying. Heracles stack going forward from next after the international break. Other than that, the Eredivisie didn't really pay out that well. What they called Zwolle team didn't do great. But I have again managed to do some trades and stuff to get a full Feyenoord stack, which I think will be the one for me that will do pretty good. I think after this run through, I'll show you the game week after the international break, and I'll show you the stacks that I've managed to put together. MLS, we got 100 essence from this team, doing pretty decent. And not to be fair, not usually my players that I would pick for a stack. It was just the ones that were playing, and had like good percentages of starting. So, but did all right. Got 100 essence. Only 5 points away from a reward with this team. A few players doing poorly to how they would usually do in the league. So hopefully I'll buck that up and start playing better soon. But other than that, MLS didn't really pay out apart from this 60. Classic MLS is pretty trash. I know they're trying to get rid of classics, and I think probably after this season, classics is gone. So yeah, they're not really got that great payouts, and I'm not really putting too much thought, should I say, into what players I'm putting into the classics. I'm just kind of chucking in the ones that have high percentages and hoping that they do all right. Um, Challenger, we didn't do great, but I think as we haven't really put together proper teams apart from the Hibs team who are not doing well. They can't seem to get a win at the moment. Hopefully Hibs will start sorting themselves out and this will start paying well. I've done some more trades as well, and I've got a rapid stack now as well. So hopefully they'll do all right. And then this is just kind of my mix and match of anyone who else I've got. Contender, this is where we got our essence with this J League kind of collection. We got some Verd and we got some, I can't remember what this team's called. It starts Kawasaki Fontaine, there you go. And then we got the Kobe keeper. So pretty decent scores. I was very glad. I think Marcinho came on quite late and scored a late goal. So I was glad he got that goal. Otherwise, I wasn't going to get anything. So there's our 250 in rare essence. I think this is where we're going to get the rare essence in this contender like stack. But hopefully, these other stacks up here for Eredivisie and Jupiler will start paying off soon as well. This team did very well with the Argentinian cohort, 510 essence from this. Pintado is one of my previous players to watch, and he is fantastic. I don't know much about the team or him as a player, but he is getting good scores, and they seem to be quite solid defensively. So it's Gimnasia y Egrismia La Plata. So I don't know if there's a shorter name for them, maybe La Plata or something like that, but they're doing okay in the league, but their defense gets quite high scores. As you can see, Suzo getting 66 as well as a defender. So yeah, pretty happy with that one. And then just, you can see why I got so much XP. Everyone else just got XP. Under 21s, not doing too great. And then the All-Stars, we got 100 limited essence just with this team. The only real standout player was Yamamoto, who got an assist, who I also had in my rare contender. But yeah, I was surprised this team got anything, to be honest, with quite low scores, especially if you look at some of the teams here with higher scores. But you know what? We'll take it, won't we? It's not too shabby. It's probably because of the division they were in, actually. And our Ipswich stack continuing to struggle, just like Ipswich are. They need to get a win. They need confidence boosting, and then they'll be on it. Trust me, they'll be a good team soon, Ipswich. And then we're going to go to the next game week, which we're still waiting on the rewards for. But this is the midweek internationals. And actually, I usually can't put much of a team together because of all the classic cards I have over the last couple of years. I've managed to put together 2 all-star teams that won 100 essence each. Messi getting 2 goals, Matty Cash getting a goal, which is a surprise, and Justin Devaney getting a goal, which really helped this team. If I had put Anthony Morris in instead of Mamadashvili, and I even had the Slovakian keeper, Dubravka, that I didn't play at all. If I'd have played him instead of Mamadashvili, we would have been a lot higher, because they beat Germany with a surprise 2-0, didn't they? Slovakia or Slovenia? Slovakia, I think it is, that he plays for. And this team I was surprised to doing all right. I had another Matty Cash card, so him getting a goal helped me out there. And everyone played, so it's pretty decent, even though a lot of them were subs on. And Anthony Morris doing very well in goal, even though they lost 3-1. So there you go. Pretty decent midweek. So we're now going to go and have a look at our player to watch. Okay, so a lot of the players to watch I've suggested are Contender. So I thought I'd stick with that for now, and then we'll build up from there. Maybe look at some challenger cards, which I'd suggest, or maybe not, because my challenger cards aren't doing that well. But my player I'm suggesting this week is Amin Boutara, I think is how you say his name, and he plays in Ligue 2 for Bastia, and Bastia aren't a fantastic team. They're an okay team, but they're probably going to get mid-table, maybe pushing for promotion. But he's just since the start of the season played fairly all right. I mean, it's only been 3 games, but an assist and an 83 and a goal and an 80, not bad scores. He's a 24-year-old French forward. He looks like he's fairly decent. Last season he played regularly and got goals and assists throughout. Looks like he might be the penalty taker for the team as well. So whenever they get penalty, he should be slotting them away. And he's not overly expensive for an in-season. So if you're picking him up out of season, you pick him up for 80p. But if you want to pick him up in season, you can pick him up for something like £7-8. For current trends, that's not too bad, especially for a player that scores quite highly. So I think that he could be a good shout for a contender stack that you're putting together. I will say that the keeper for Bastia isn't doing that well at the moment. He's the Haitian international player. I've got a card of his as well, and I've played him. He seems to get lower scores, so they are leaky defensively, but seem to be fairly decent up front. So he's just my suggestion for a player to keep an eye on that we think might be a good shout. Okay, so we're going to now have a look at crafting a card. Alright, so we have 7,000 essence, which means we have plenty to do a craft. I have been told in the comments every video that I should not be using essence on clues when it's just a regular craft. So, and just to do a random pick. So I'm going to do that this time. I love the clues because it gives you a little bit of context and it's easier, but this is what the comments are telling me, so I'm going to follow what they say. So if it's a standard one, we are just going to go for a random card. It's just a standard one, so we're not going to do any of these because we're not going to waste essence. Apparently, that's a waste. So I'm going to treat it, I said ages ago, back when they first started this, treat it like a penalty. So I think I'm going to go bottom left, which is my favourite, like, sort of place to finish it as a penalty. You aim for bottom left, keeper usually will dive right. Is in my head is how it will go. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what I'm thinking. I've just noticed there's a timer as well. We've got 9 minutes to do. I never noticed that before. So we're going to go bottom left. We're just going to go for it and hope that we get something good. Goalkeeper, Stijn van Gassel. I'm not even sure if he plays. Bonjour, he's a 3-star goalkeeper in the Eredivisie who plays on and off. Okay, is he a starter? If you know in the comments, let me know if he is a starter or not for Excelsior Rotterdam. They're not doing great in the league at the moment, 16th, but maybe it's because their keeper's been out. It looks like he played very well against Twente. He's like, 28, which is kind of the prime age for a keeper, like coming into prime age, let's say. I think that's a pretty decent pull. The only other one, which is another 3-star, is Choi Cholwon, who's a goalkeeper who, again, doesn't play super regularly. I don't think there's anyone else that I'm missing there, so perfect. I mean, that was a pretty decent random guess, wasn't it? So we've done our first craft a lot quicker this time because we're not looking at the leagues or anything like that. We're going to do another one because we have enough essence to do 2 for this video. Leaves us with 5k essence. We're going to get 200 essence from the midweek, which I haven't received yet as a rewards. And then we're going to probably struggle for essence over the next week because of internationals. But hopefully when the weekend comes, so we're going to have a Sorare Sunday where we are struggling, and then the Sorare Sunday after that we should hopefully get more essence from that. So let's do one more pull. Oh, doesn't want to. The essence thing broke, so we're going to try again now for our second craft. Let's see if we get a standard or not. Standard again, so we're not going to... Oh, man. We're not going to do any of these, but we're going to pick... I mean, we went bottom left. We don't want the keeper to guess bottom left again, so maybe go bottom right. There's like a right foot finish into the bottom corner. I don't know. Bottom left is treated as well, though. Do we go for it again? Just bottom left? Bottom right? I don't know. Never go for the top corners, because you could blaze it over. Unless you're Harry Maguire and you smash it into the top corner. I'm going to go bottom left again. Who did we get? That's a Turkish league, isn't it? A 3-star. Flipping heck, bottom left is almost like a guaranteed. The other 3-star doesn't look like he's a nailed-on starter for Galatasaray. Who did we get? OK Yokusulu. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. I mean, he starts and he gets kind of middle scores. Looks like he doesn't always. He's not called up for internationals. Interesting. Plays for I think it's Trabzonspor. Is how you say it? The Turkish league. We're going to claim him as well. All right, let's have a quick look at our players that we got then. All right, looking at Stijn van Gassel, plays for Excelsior Rotterdam. A lot of games not played last season, but he played the first game of the season and the last game of the season. Wasn't even benched for the 2 middle games, though, against Feyenoord and Utrecht. Interesting. He's worth a fair amount. I mean, how much are his sales up for? What's the lowest price? £5? He's a £5 card, which isn't too bad. I think I might keep hold of him for now, because he's an in-season keeper, which would be nice to have if he does play. So we'll keep hold of him and just see how that plays out. Yeah, I'm not a bad pull. I mean, Excelsior Rotterdam aren't doing great so far this season, but that could, it's very early in the season, so it could turn around. He's played twice in the league, which is more than he played a lot last season. Maybe he's now becoming their first choice. He's coming into the age where a keeper becomes a bit more of like a first choice keeper. Like 28, 29 is when you start to hit that prime, I think. So it seems to get later though. You can have keepers up to 40 years old now, can't you? So maybe not. But yeah, I think honestly that is a fantastic pull just for a standard card. And he might be really good if you're playing Eredivisie to use. But he is a risk, isn't he? So I'm going to keep hold of him and see how the rest of the season goes. And maybe I can play him, maybe I can't. Let's have a look at our other player that we picked up. Okay, we have OK. So OK Yokusulu, 31-year-old. So he's an older fella. Turkish midfielder for Trabzonspor Kabulu? I cannot. Trabzonspor is how the team, I guess. Plays, gets okay scores. Where are they in the league? Are they doing all right or not so much? They're second in the league. Wow, so they're doing very well. Looking at him as a player, he's not worth loads. He's worth like £1. That's what people are selling him for anyway. But he does regularly start. What divisions does he play in? Is the question. He will play in Challenger. Okay, so an extra Challenger midfielder isn't too bad in season. I mean, it's not a bad pull. It's not as good as the goalkeeper, but I think it was the best pull I could have done in that selection of players that I had. So I'm pretty happy with that for now. I'm just going to quickly next show you the stacks that I've got for the upcoming bit after the international break. So you can see kind of I've gone more for stacks of teams rather than random players now. So let me just quickly show you that. Okay, so as I said, I've gone for stacks of teams. So I've got a Fulham stack, I've got an Everton stack, and I've got a Man United stack now in Premier League. I've managed to pick up a Sheshko. I got a Casemiro, and I traded a lot of these. I got Luke Shaw, Kobe Mainu, and Lamans. And then I've got Dallo, but he got injured for Portugal, so I've switched him out for Luke Shaw. Dallo, I don't love, but he does get assists a lot more than any other of like the defenders, so I thought worth it. I'm trying to trade for a Euro, but no one wants to trade me for him, so I was just like, you know what, Luke Shaw will have to do. He was only a couple of quid. I think I brought Luke Shaw, and I traded Mainu, Casemiro. I brought Seshko. I couldn't manage to find anyone who wanted to trade, so I ended up putting a bit of money in for him. Hopefully he'll play well, and Lamans as well, who I had originally. This is why I put together the Man United stack. Then I got a West Ham stack. This one's a little bit slapdash. I mean, Somerville might not play. He came on from the bench and played quite well. Walker Peters is kind of on and off. Kilman will play, and El Diouf seems like he will play, and Hermansen most likely will play. It's just these two are a little bit question mark, but they're kind of a fourth choice. So these Everton and Man United are my main like hopes. Then Fulham aren't doing as well, but there's some good players in there, and they held Man United to a draw. They seem to be playing all right in the league. It's just they need that extra little bit of oomph, I think. And they got new signings which could provide that. And West Ham were struggling. Got a really good win last game, 3-0 against Nottingham Forest, I think it was. So there's a chance that they might start giving good scores as well. Ligue 1, I've got the Le Havre, and I picked up Doucouré in defence, because he just seems like a more consistently scoring player than the defender that I had before. So that's my Le Havre stack. I do have like I said, like another defender if I need to switch it out for any of these players who aren't playing. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then I managed to get together with trades a Bundesliga stack. So I've got Joel Chima Fujita for St. Pauli. I've got Eric Smith. I've got an out of season or classic Nikola Vlasic. Huntunji and Cars, all St. Pauli players. I picked up another defender who was cheap, and another, I think it was forward, who was fairly affordable as well, in terms of like trades and stuff. So I've got a little bit of depth there as well. We'll see how Bundesliga goes. St. Pauli are doing quite well currently in the league, but it's only a couple of games in. So hopefully this stack will do all right. And we've got a fairly good keeper there, I think, from the looks of it. And then for the stacks for the Belgian league, I've got Antwerp. They did a last-minute signing of Babadi from PSV, so I think he might do really well in the Belgian leagues. So he's one which I think will be. I really like that Antwerp stack. I'm glad I've been able to put that together. Good defender as well. Bulgarian 20-year-old playing really well. The keeper's the only question mark. If the keeper keeps playing this one, we're fine. But we might, if they get a new keeper, or if they do have a keeper that they signed from the J League, I do have his card. I picked up cheapish ages ago, like months ago. So hopefully, if they do switch it out, I'll have the card anyway for him. And then we've got a stack for, I can never remember how to pronounce this. Mechelin, I think it is, KV Mechelin, which isn't ideal. Like the Jose Massa. Not sure what's happened. The last 2 games, he's just not been played, and he played really well at the beginning of the season. So not sure why he's been dropped. If anyone in the comments knows why, that'd be great to have a bit of context. And Zerki is a 16-year-old defender who they do play, but I feel like is going to have very up and down games. Hamar and Lauberbach, I think is how you say it, seem to be pretty consistent and good. De Wolf has on and off games, so it's a little bit more of a risky stack. And then, as I said, I've got a Zolter Oargem stack here with a Antwerp keeper. And then for Eredivisie, we've got a Pek Zwolle stack, a Feyenoord stack with I picked up Timber with a trade and Ueda with a trade. I traded a lot. I lost out on these two trades. Like I traded way over their value, but I wanted them. So and the cards which I traded I wasn't using, so I was fine with it. And then I've got a Heracles stack for our rare. And then for MLS, it's just kind of a really eclectic mix of cards. I've managed to pick up some of these cool illustrated classics because they've gone a lot cheaper than they were when they first came out. So I really loved them. So I picked up Zaha, Copers, and they were all like a lot of them were trades and for like £2-3 rather than like the £40 they were originally. So and I picked up Jaden Nelson as well. I think I paid for this one. It was like £2, so I was like, I'm all right with that. So yeah, MLS is just kind of a craziness of whatever player seems to be playing well at the time. Let's just kind of try and stick them together. And then in Challenger, we've got a rapid stack here, all in season. I managed to pick up Held fairly. I think that was a trade for like one of my really good. I think I included Held in my trade for Romero. So I sold Romero, or like traded him away for a few cards, which I wanted. I did it like as a like collection of cards just for Romero and another like lower valued card, and I think Held was in there as well as Mbui. So it's hard to remember because I try and do a lot of like kind of trades around this time to try and pick out the teams that I want. So it's hard to remember what I've done. Hibs stack, obviously you've seen. Hopefully it will start performing a bit better. And then in terms of Contender, we kind of don't really. I just noticed there's no game for these guys in this Contender stack, so we'll have to change that around. Don't really have a certain team other than this Argentinian team, but we don't always play the full Argentinian team. We sometimes play different players from that league. So it's kind of a bit, again, a mishmash, especially for the rare. We don't have one team. I think if we're closing in on a little bit on a Kawasaki Fontel team, but like it's 2 players. It's not really much of a stack, is it? We don't have anything else from them. So yeah, it's just kind of like again, I'll go by like the percentages and who fits in terms of like who I think will get a high score. So that's how I do Contender. And then the rest is just classic cards, which I'll play. I will always play an Ipswich stack. I managed to pick up an Ejeli, which I think if he is as good as they say he is, he's going to be smashing in the goals for Ipswich, hopefully. I'm really hopeful of that one. Akpom, I think, has a chance of being a really good player for us. I mean, Kayuste has come back and he was incredible last season and is showing signs of that incredibleness again this season. Matsuisa looks like he's pretty decent and is like a solid like anchor in the middle. So yeah, there's a lot of positive for Ipswich. We just haven't seemed to be able to connect the dots yet, but we will eventually. So that's like kind of how I'm planning to go forward with the rest of the season. I'm not looking at changing too much anymore. I think I'm just gonna let it play out and see how it goes. But we're gonna continue doing the Sorare Sundays and see how we do. Obviously, next week we have the reveals of the in-season cards, and if we do get enough shiny cards, we can put together a team for the super shiny Big Four, which is, I'm guessing, Premier League, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, and La Liga go into this and this competition, and then the Continental must be everyone else, all the other leagues that are not included in the Big Four. So if we get enough shiny cards, we could potentially put some teams into there. Problem is, it means that you can't put them into their leagues like this. Although there will probably be less players in these shiny leagues, so maybe it is worth it. We will wait to see how that goes. I'll probably do a video on my card reveals separately to the Sorare Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you had a good match week as well. Remember to come back next week, and I will see you when I see you.